All right, welcome to Hoagie Time. First off, we want to thank all of our new friends and fans on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and the like.
How about that?
I want to thank you guys for 300,000 views and 10,000 likes already.
Damn.
We're just getting started, kids.
I didn't even know that many people existed.
Yeah, come
Not
on.
after COVID. What's going on, man? How was the week?
It was great, Mike.
Yeah?
It was great. You know, just one day at a time, maintaining.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Good, good. I almost got in a fight Friday.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I went out, you know, feeling good about podcast one, and I'm around friends, and I was drinking again. Like, there's an issue here. A friend, I thought, like, I thought he was making fun of the podcast a little bit. Everybody was so supportive and all that, but I kind of got that, like, you know, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't right. He wasn't. And I kind of exploded at him, and it was like 2:15 in the morning, and we were separated. And like I had to make the 8:15 text message just to make sure he was still my friend. And of course, like he was like, "Yeah, buddy, like thank God I have people like that in my life, like because if it wasn't like that, I'd be like, eh." But nothing major, no big story. I thought he was kind of teasing me.
Yeah. You could have 2 people talking you up around here, and you'll have 3 people shooting you down, but there's 3 people that are knocking you down to size.
Yeah, it was like, like, you know, because in my head, I know the truth. Just a little boy, and the way he was looking at me, like it was like he knew what was inside me.
Yeah, and once you get past the facade, and once you know what's inside, then
yeah,
I've got
I was
an
like,
issue.
I can't let him think that, so I got to go attack. And he was twice my size, so I'm glad it didn't happen. So.
And
Well,
it's in public
twice,
too.
but-
It's in public too. So if you hit a bigger guy, even if you lose, it's always so crazy, and that
That's
goes
the
a
thing
long
about
way.
fighting. Like, and I
around
don't
here.
know a lot about it, but it only lasts 15 seconds. So
That's what the guy
Try
thought
your
at Dazed
best.
and Confused. He's
Exactly.
like, I'll just take a swing, play some defense, and they'll break it up. And he got fucked up.
damn.
I'm the one smoking marijuana, motherfucker. That scene.
So yeah, that was this weekend. We saw each other today. We had a little bit of a sad funeral today, but Telco legend. But rest in peace, Johnny B.
Rest in peace, Johnny B. Shout out.
But a great turnout. Good crew.
Wonderful homily.
Unbelievable homily. Karen Boyce is a singer. Ooh, baby. We all knew it, but
Beautiful, pure voice.
yeah.
The homily really,
Which one's that? Is the homily one where the priest talks, or
when the priest,
See,
talks
I'm
about the
done
gospel.
with that shit, man. I really like that. I didn't think it was great because the whole time he's trying to tie it into something like nobody fucking believes in anymore.
I completely zoned out for the entirety of it.
you know, and I feel
I'm
bad
just saying
for
it's
the guy.
great just so I seem engaged.
No, I was engaged. I tried, but the whole
zoned out.
time he's trying to up his numbers for next Sunday, and they don't know the person, so it's like,
Maybe he does.
yeah, well,
But a lot of people are like, in that reading, what I think, like, come on,
it don't
dude,
tie
shut
together.
up.
The book was written 2,000 years ago. Like, you know, if you want to guide your life off of something, like, God bless you. If it makes you a better person, but like gearing it to like what was written, like I don't even understand it.
Stop acting like you know what's up when it comes to that stuff, and just start everything off with, you know, I'm just bullshitting here, but
Yeah,
then talk about it.
and like I said to you during mass, because we were talking, they got to knock out that kneeling part. It literally
We knocked it out.
Yeah, we did. We didn't kneel. Like when they do that kneel thing in the middle, fuck that. So I sit, and that's what really doesn't want. I don't want to be around.
When he
churches
said,
anymore.
please kneel, in my head, I say, I kneel for no man. And I
Even
sat
Jesus
right
Christ.
back.
Yeah.
Just the way it was.
Yeah.
Then you didn't kneel first. You sat, so I was like, great, I've got to pass. I'm
Right,
not going to
right.
be the only one.
Well, we were the back row too, so
The very back row.
it was good.
You know where to find us.
Yeah, it was good to see everybody there, and you know, rest in peace. Good man, good man. Did a lot for me with the music and the gigs and stuff like that. Speaking of gigs, we're gonna do a little shout out. This weekend, I'm at Saxers in Springfield on Saturday, 7 to 11. So if anybody wants to come out, that's where I'll be playing guitar. No Sperry's this weekend, unless I'm racing, which is always an opportunity, always a chance, right?
Especially these days when word's out that you've got the fleet-footed Mike Barkley, and you're going to have takers looking to take the crown.
Right.
You're going to have competition coming up.
Probably, yeah. But I got to pick my opponents. You know?
I've got a few gigs coming up this weekend. I've got a 3-day run. I'm at Barnaby's in Westchester from 5 to 8 on Friday. Saturday, I'm at the Feigning Goat in Glen Olden from 5 to 8. And then Sunday, back at Barnaby's Havertown from 3 to 6:30-ish. And Rob Carroll coming through again on saxophone this week. So it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I just had a thought, and it has nothing to do with anything that happened today. But say your buddy dies. How long do you wait if they have a girlfriend? Like, does it depend on how they die? Because I think so. Like, if it's like cancer or like drugs, I think you can right away. But if it's kind of sudden and stuff like that, you can't really, you got to give it like 3 months. When can you talk to a suitor?
I think 3 months is a good number, but it's...
Right, but what if they die of like, you know, the Delco usual, like heroin?
Then I think you could scoop right in and be like, I'm
because
stable,
she's already
I'm not
been,
like
yeah,
that.
she's already been mad at him for a while,
Yeah.
you know?
You know, are you tired of this roller coaster lifestyle?
Exactly. You can sneak right in and be like, oh, heroin, huh? You know, I got a job.
Yeah, heroin, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready to be done with that loser shit?
Yeah, the Delco usual. So, yeah, working, coming home from work tonight, actually, before this pod.
I was proud of you.
Yeah, man.
HT got here first. I got here second, and then we heard you coming up the steps.
I know.
It was like, Daddy's home.
Daddy is home, put the beer on ice and the children to bed. No kids, actually. I don't know how I lasted this long without kids.
Well, Mike, we have a special surprise for you. Send in the boy.
Michael. Oh, man.
Miguel.
I remember when I was like 22. This is a crazy story, dude. I was going fast, right? I had a girlfriend. She was my first girlfriend. And I was like, you know, I was quick. So I was like, all right, I want to be a better lover.
Fast driver?
No, I was fast in the sack.
Oh.
So I was like, I want to be a better lover. So.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like my heart was in the right place. But so I'm bookieing at the time, and I have I have more money than a 21 or 22 or 23, whatever I am, should have. So I have like 1,600 or like just extra money laying around. I'm listening to 610 WIP, which is the Philly sports station at the time, and there's a commercial for this Boston Medical Group, and I'm like 22, and I'm
Sounds
thinking,
reputable.
Yeah, I mean it's on 610 WIP, so I thought like, oh wow, it said you can solve all your premature ejaculation, all these, I'm like, holy shit, I'm like, this is for me. So I'm like, I got all this money. I'm like, I can't spend it on anything because I don't have a real job. I'm playing in a band. So I make an appointment and I go down to Center City, right? And like, I remember it was right by like City Hall, big giant high rise, going to like the 6th floor. And I got to meet with the doctor, and then I got to go in a room, and he's got to like test it. He's like, you got to give yourself an erection. I'm like, oh my God, but like, what am I doing here? Finally, I'm like, just
don't worry about it. I prepared a special dance for you.
I go in there, I tell him what's happening. Give me a pill. I'll take it. I'll snort it. I'll do whatever the hell you want. Anything to stop, this.
Take this pill. Do you have anything to crush it up with? Yo, here's a glass of water.
I would have absolutely done that. But I end up saying, okay, he's like, if you pay $1,000 today and then $600 next week or whatever, we'll get you to this stuff and everything will be fine. So he's a doctor and I trust him because I'm young. And I said, fine, here's the check and all that. The next week to my parents' house, I'm still living there. I get a delivery, a box, right? It's 40 syringes and this fucking like canter of like this liquid, right? So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't want to do this. You had to inject yourself before the act. And you had to know how to do that stuff with a certain. I had no idea.
As if stopping to put a balloon on your dick wasn't weird enough.
And
let me just swing my legs over and just don't worry about this syringe right now.
It was wild, and I was like, okay, if this is what it takes, I'm young. I can get this taken care of. I get it, but I'm scared for like a week or two or whatever. So I do it one time, and it's right before. So I go into the bathroom. I inject myself with this stuff. And I come back out, and it's like 5 minutes later, I got a hard on, and it hurts. Like, it's just, I must have put too much in there. I didn't know how much, like,
running out of skin.
I probably went over or whatever like that. So the girl that was my girlfriend, she starts, I'm in pain, and I'm on my elbows and knees, like on the bed, and I'm just crying. And she's like, oh my God, I never wanted you to do that anyway. I never said anything. What I said.
You're crying.
I'm crying. It's 3 a.m.
The sniffy was so intense.
It was so intense. It didn't go away till 6 a.m. From 3 to
6 in the morning.
Yeah, till 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm crying on my bed in a fetal position. Then I go into the shower because it was the only place that I thought could fix it and like get it to go down. I left the water on for 2 hours in there, and then finally at 6 a.m., like luckily, like no one in the house woke up. Like, what are you doing in the shower from 4 to 6? Finally at 6 a.m. it goes down. Fuck this. Never using that shit again. Like, I don't care. Like, I found Jameson later, and that fixed the problem. But like later on, it was like a week later, right? We're playing our old band Thug Folk. Mike and I were in a band together. I think you guys know that.
Where were we performing at?
We were at the Red Lantern. And it's like midnight. We get done early for some reason, and I get a call from my parent or my dad saying, you need to come home right now. No explanation. Just like you need to get home.
That's heavy because I mean that could be.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Like, what's going on? Blah blah blah. I get home. I'm with the girlfriend there. She stays. I'm like, this something's important. I go home. They're sitting in the living room, and they said, we found your speed downstairs. I'm like, ah. I'm like looking, I'm like, and I'm hearing them talking, they're concerned on their face, and I'm like, Mom, can you go upstairs? This is something I'd like to talk to Dad about. Like, you know, this is something I can explain. My mom was a nurse, so she saw what was down there, got her nurse book to read it up. It was speed. So basically the medicine was injection speed.
So this Boston Medical Group might not have been as reputable.
It could be still around.
They certainly weren't aware that you could just take a pill. They're like, here, inject your dick with this. Like, yo, there's other ways.
It was early medicine. It was like
so I hear.
It was primitive. So I get there. I get her out of there. I'm like, Dad. I'm like, listen. I'm like, this is I don't know if you ever heard of this, but it was on WIP, and it's something to stop, like, you know, going early. You know, I got a girlfriend now. And, you know, I get a little excited, and he was like it took him like a second or whatever. And he's like, all right, what, you know, fine, whatever. Like, you know, and then I talked to, at first they're like, no, like there's needles down there. You're injecting yourself, like, or something with that. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. You know, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, I didn't even want to take it. I'm like, I took it once, and I had a very, very adverse reaction to it. And it fucked me up. And like, finally it was all cool. But that was the end of it. We threw him out. I remember the next day, like, taking him out to the trash. It was like a family affair. Like, my needles, there was like 39 needles and this little tube of liquid. And we took him out. We said goodbye to that. And I learned to handle the problem in other ways, I guess, you know. But yeah.
Were you able to complete your attempt while on that medicine? I mean, even completion didn't.
Absolutely, I
didn't
forgot
bring the
about
boner
it.
down.
I forgot about it. You know, I just.
So it became like, this is a medical emergency. The mood is not there anymore.
It was. I think I just kind of worked my way out of it. I was so young. I was like 21, 22. It was just, that was natural. And then when I got older, it was just, it only got a little bit better, but it got a little better. So I didn't really care. But yeah, that reminded me of that. So that's pretty wild.
That's awesome. When you just said that you got the phone call, your dad's like, to come home, and like, getting phone calls like that's the worst.
And he's a stern man, so like, you know, it could have been anything.
That gave me a flashback of a story I have.
Give it to me, baby.
I think it was 2003-ish. I believe it was like 4th of July weekend. We had a gig in Wildwood, New Jersey that night, and I think I was in Sea Isle or one of the other shore towns. And I'm driving from Sea Isle south to Wildwood to meet up with you and the boys to play that night. And I get a phone call, and it's my mother. Rest in peace. Shout out, Mom.
Hell yeah.
And I pick up the phone, and she is bawling, crying, and she just is screaming, "He's dead. He's dead. He died."
Holy shit. Who was it?
Immediately. I mean, I've got a father. I've got a brother. I immediately start crying. Who's dead, Mom? Who's dead? I pull over. Who's dead, Jesus? He's dead. He's dead. It's fucking so dramatic, dude. And I'm like, Mom, who is it? Is it Tom? Is it Dad? She goes, it's Barry.
Who the fuck's Barry?
I go, what? Barry White died.
Jeez.
Barry White, the singer.
Oh my God.
My mom's a huge fan.
I remember
Christ,
that.
Mom.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, family stuff, dude. I can't believe it.
So, guys, a quick plug for Collingdale Firehouse.
Shout out first responders everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Friday, Friday night, 7 to 10, $40 at the door, open bar, plenty of prizes to give out. This is our biggest summer fundraiser. So come on out and enjoy us.
Awesome. What, for the fire company?
Correct, yeah.
Where's this like happening at?
It's at Stinger's Sea Cane, 929 Providence Road.
Okay.
Not the waterfront in Swarthmore, on Swarthmore Avenue in Ridley Township, but in Sea Cane.
Gotcha.
So.
How is the Cop B team doing? All right.
The Cop B team. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. I love the Cop B team. Nah, they're always out there. I see them out there, and you know they got their crew. Have you ever noticed now with the cops? And I love the cops, first responders, but like, what's with the social media? Like, you know, like you guys better back the blue. Like, dude, we know. Like, you guys have a hard job. Like, you know, you have the hardest job in the world. You protect us, but with the cops that we grew up around, like Frank McCone, like would they ever be on social media, like saying they're not supported enough?
Never.
That they were like the manliest men I've ever seen.
Yeah. They're like,
not saying
don't
they're not,
support
but
us,
like
fuck
who
it.
that like. I don't know. When I see these like flags with the blue in the middle, I'm like, you're kind of separating yourself from. You're kind of just dividing. You know, I mean, like the American flag is beautiful the way it is. You don't need a big blue thing in there to show that you're pissed off,
Right.
about not being supported. You know?
Yeah. Or like the signs like we support our police.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
everyone supports the police.
We didn't have to cops back then, like Frank McCone, those guys. Like,
even if you're pissed off at them, you support the idea of police. But you could say that these guys over here are being assholes. No one just is wiping away the idea of police.
It was a different era. It was back, like the 80s or something, where
well, Frank McCone saved my life twice.
Shout out Frank McCone.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
He just patrolled saving lives. That's
so
what they
Chris
did.
Bernard, when I was 5 years old.
Shout out Shakes Bernard.
Yeah. The Bernard family, great family friends. But when I was 5 and he was 5, he said, Tommy, come on over here. When he's across the street, what do I think?
Cigarette bouncing out of his 5-year-old mouth.
What happened was I was like, "Hey, Chris, I'm coming!" Boom, run over by a car. I have a exposed femur fracture. I'm 5 years old. I'm run over by a car.
Is that why you walk with a limp?
Yes.
I just thought you owned a Delco bar.
No.
So you had mad soul.
Yeah. So run over by a car. Frank McCone said, "F this. We're not waiting for the fire company I belong to's ambulance." He threw me and my dad was 6'3" and huge.
Bear.
Threw him in the back of a police car, took me to Fitz. Fitz
amputated your arm.
Yeah. But no, they treated me, and then I think I ended up at CHOP. The second time he saved my life, he was doing traffic control in front of O'Hagan's during, I think it was the 100th anniversary of, no, it was
9/11.
The bicentennial?
It was that. No, it wasn't the bicentennial. It was the 75th anniversary of Collingdale. So it was like, you know, O'Hagan's, even though they still had the Christmas tree lights up year round,
Just a
they
bunch
also
of poor
had
Irish
the
along
bunting.
McDade.
Yeah, they they had the
Shanty.
buntings out and everything. But this car, this guy was basically wrecked, and Frank McCone jumped in front of it and then broke the windshield of the driver's side, put the car in park, and pulled him out of the car.
You know
Go
what
to
I
the
love
parade.
about those guys, like Frank and those guys, back in the day. You're right. There's a party going on, right?
Yeah.
They might find a little blow, right? Nowadays, they're taking that, they're putting in the evidence, they're flushing out. Back then, those guys called their buddy from high school that knew what to do with it.
They love the smell of it.
They love the smell, and they made a little side deal, and they got those drugs back on the street where they belonged.
Yeah.
You know, the key to the story back then, and the cops don't do it now. And like, Napper, you just got to find the friend from high school that knows what to do with it. And, you know, let's make a deal. But nowadays that doesn't happen. But back then, like, it was all the time. Like they brought it in or they did it themselves. They were real people.
Like, it's not going to snort itself.
Exactly.
And if you just leave it in the evidence room, then hey, it could be locked away in an evidence room, but a small child could get into that eventually.
Get it on the street where it belongs. Get it back into the economy. Let's help this country.
Let's get it up the noses of adults.
Of adults that want to do what they want to do. Aren't we all libertarians? Right? We don't want to step into anybody's lives. Just call your friend from high school that knows what to do with it, and then get it back on the street. That's the only thing that bothers me about today's police. But I mean, they have a lot of jobs, and it doesn't really bother me. I'm just kind of. But
I mean, shout out first responders. We do support our first responders.
But stop with the social media stuff. It's unbecoming. Like, you're the toughest guys around. Like, I don't want to see what you're sad about. You're supposed to be fucking iron. I shouldn't have to go to you for, you know, as a tough guy. I should go to the local cop.
Yeah, just fishing for likes and hearts on Facebook. Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Get to the range. Practice your shooting. So like, do rugged shit.
Yeah, so if you're like a chief or whatever and you watch Hoagie Time, that should be the number one rule. Everyone off Facebook, so you can regain your ruggedry. Yeah, that's what I think.
Just 80s cops just breaking up teenagers in the cemetery, just tight jeans and huge muffs. It
was a different time.
Fast dancing to Rick Springfield.
But when we were young and they were chasing us around in cemeteries and stuff, that was all fun. Because, you know, it was no harm, no foul. They drop you off at your parents. You'd get grounded for a weekend.
I mean, I heard a story today that there's these parties in Collingdale these days where the guy has this house, and maybe it's not just one guy, but people have a house, and then they throw it up on social media. Hey, here's my address. Here's the party. And then like 1,000 people show up on a residential street. This isn't like farmland in central PA.
And it happens 2-3 times a month.
And it's 2-3 times a month.
Yeah. And they can't do anything about it because if they're not breaking a law, they got to wait for the party to happen to wait for a law to be broken. So like it's...
But meanwhile, there'd be 4 of us in the woods, in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the wilderness, drinking a case of beer in complete silence, complete darkness, and you'd have fucking cops coming out of the woodwork in ghillie suits, fucking night vision on.
Dogs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got a 1,000-person party on Sharon Avenue.
Yeah.
And they somehow get away with it.
They get away with it, man.
They found us in John Stauffer's house.
I mean, shout out Johnny Stauf.
Shout out Johnny Stauf. But like one
time, you
guys
had legendary parties over there because I remember I was 2 years younger, but I remember Jody coming back smelling like fucking blunts and everything. Like, it was like 8th grade. I was in 6th or 7th. I'm like, holy shit! What do these people do?
Heavy drinkers at a young age.
Yeah,
strictly St. Ides malt liquor. Shout out St. Ides malt liquor if you want to send some stuff.
2 or 3 times. Yeah, like as drunk as I've ever been,
dude. I didn't drink a 12. I didn't drink a 12-ounce can of beer or a bottle of beer until I got to high school, which is such a Collingdale thing to say because by the time we get to high school as 14-year-olds, we're a couple years into the scene.
Yeah, we're a couple years ahead.
But yeah, I mean, we were drinking 2 40s. It got to the point where drink 140 of St. Ides, and then that became not enough. Like fucking 15-year-old boys, dude. Like we're little kids. Then it came to like, well, I'll do one, but then we'll have a pass around too. For like the 3 or 4 guys that one didn't really scratch the itch anymore. Right. Then we'd pass. Then it came up to 2 40s.
Well, your crew, I learned the Edward 40 hands thing.
Yeah.
Like you guys are legendary for that. Like, and for whatever reason, you guys are so fucking twisted. You couldn't go to the bathroom either, so you'd have to piss yourselves.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Just
expression.
Gamesmanship, competitiveness.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just try to push the envelopes, Mike.
Not only could you have that, but yeah, you guys are at another level.
Well, they wondered why we were drinking so heavy. You couldn't hang out at the playgrounds back then. Like the playgrounds were there for what you couldn't play basketball at night. They'd kick you out of the playground. And you know me, I'm always looking to hoop.
Absolutely.
And always was then. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hey, we can't play basketball. Let's drink malt liquor in the woods.
Yeah, that was a rite of passage where we're from. Drinking in the woods, the cemetery. We would hang out at this place called Westmont Park.
Yeah.
And we'd try to like, you know, I don't know if this is predatory or not. Looking back, it might have been. Try to get girls, trick them, and like tell them like, oh, you know, we lost our keys up in the cemetery. Will you come and find them? Yeah. Today,
That was the "May I Have This Dance"?
yeah,
of that era.
of our era, that was like let's dance to something after the war. That was the '90s version. I dropped my keys in the cemetery. Can you help me find
And these
them?
girls weren't dumb. It was like,
they were just.
He
as
just asked me to go up
interested.
into
Yeah,
the
it's not like-
cemetery to find his keys.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of them asked me to come up and find their keys.
Exactly. But that was, you know, that was
They
just,
like me. They really like me.
yeah, that was then. That was a fun time.
It was a fun time, and the parties, the softers were wild too.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like that
everybody
gets more of a
rapped.
pass.
Everybody had a verse.
Everyone had a verse, even
Yeah.
your sister.
My sister had one.
Don't be fooled by the pretty face. I'll fuck your dad, kill your mom, and leave without a trace. She said that
Dude,
the
I
one
heard that,
night,
I'm like,
and we were like, oh, yeah.
Shit.
Still the hardest line ever. Shout out
It
Jody
is.
Barkley.
Yeah. Think about that. And as a brother, I should have been appalled, but I was like, fuck yeah.
No, lyrically, it's tight.
Lyrically, it's tight. It's expressive, and it's like fuck, and it chills you to the bone. And
Yeah.
as a younger brother, I was so proud.
It was. I mean, it was.
I mean, I've tried freestyle and all, but I haven't come up with a line even close to that. Something that scares the shit out of you. Like what? You're ruining a family
yeah,
Yeah,
There's
like-
many layers to that.
in 9th grade. She was ready to ruin a family.
She's gonna fuck the dad, and I love that. Like she's in the driver's seat. Like she's not getting fucked. She's fucking the dad. Like he's just sitting there. She's the one.
Yeah.
Fucking him.
And then like leave without trace. So there's no clothes. There's nothing to prove.
After the mother was killed.
After the mother's
Why
so
you,
she doesn't
you
get
just
caught.
fuck the mother's husband? Why you gotta kill her?
No evidence left.
And this is a 15-year-old white suburban girl spitting this shit over probably like a Raekwon beat in Stauffer's basement.
Wu-Tang. God bless you. God
we
bless
would
you,
these
sister.
parties. We would grind. We would just get into grind trains. We called them, and we'd put on like Method Man's. It wasn't even like a mix of music. We would just put on like the Method Man CD to Cal. Shout out Method Man, and we would just press play. And we'd line up single file, guy, girl, and we would just fucking grind, and it was dead
The
serious.
visual of that.
It was dead serious. There'd probably be 15,
Dude, but do you
16 of us
remember
in line.
grinding like as like a sexual act? Like when
Dude,
you're
as a sexual
like,
act as a sport.
as a sport, but you would like say, but like you couldn't do it. You were a kid, so you grind. You'd have fucking blisters, like on like.
Yeah.
You come home, you're like, oh my god, there's blood, because you didn't even understand what you're doing, but you couldn't stop the grind.
Right.
And like, the friction, but whatever. Like you didn't want to come off looking like a pussy and stop.
And there's no finish. It's just
No,
a
it's
random
just you're going
grind.
until there's blood on both sides.
Yeah, but you're kind of enjoying the music, and that was a fire era for
Yeah, it
hip hop
was.
too.
Yeah,
So
it was.
it was easy to get lost in that shit.
There's Wu-Tang.
I'll speak for myself.
Yeah,
Wu-Tang, Snoop, Dre, Biggie, Pac,
they were
No Limit.
Yeah,
My brother had the No Limit medallion that he got on the boardwalk. The No Limit tank. It said No Limit Records on the end of a silver chain, like he was signed to No Limit Records or something. All right, young boy.
Oh my god, those were definitely the days, man.
The Hoodlumz. We had a rap group called the Hoodlumz.
Best rap verse. Can you please, for our listeners, it's the best rap verse I've ever heard in my life. Do you know it? Could you-
Stauffer's verse.
Stauffer's verse.
Shout out John Stauffer.
Like honestly, John Stauffer looks like a stoic quarterback, with like, a fucking face like an Adonis. But it's the best rap verse I've ever heard. Do you mind kicking it for us?
I don't mind.
right.
Acapella?
Acapella.
It's true artistry here.
Yeah.
I gotta laugh at these people with their PhDs because I'm slanging keys, making G's out back of ETs. Tavern. Represent. No, I'm sorry. That's my verse.
That's fucking hot.
Yo,
too.
dude, yeah, my shit's hot. This is Stauffer's
All right,
verse. I'm
Stauffer's
sorry.
verse. But I want that one later.
Rolling in my ride through C-Town, heading down to Deuce Pound, trying to get the fat second killer now, so I could smoke a blunt or two with my crew, all except for foo. Ain't that right? Bull true. Let's talk about Bruner, the one that bucked you down with the 6-shooter and refused to give you the last hit of his roach. Hoodlums approach, cutting mad throats. Fuck the West Coast. Ain't nothing but bitches and skankos. That trick. Yeah, she giving blows. Matt C. wearing fat sagging dungarees, slanging making trees on the corner of the pub they call Cookies. Don't let me talk about Heifer, the one one that's picking up the hose that left ya.
ya.
Fuck around, no second thoughts about wetting
Wetting
ya.
ya.
Never loving ya. Skills at chugging the St. Ides with vodka chaser. Hit me with the taser. I'm gonna blaze a L with bone and dada. Cause they gonna run up in any trick that want the dick from the C-Town clicker. Running in the 9 sick for that ass. Quick to dash and flash. We mash any motherfucker in a mask who want to fuck with the composition I'm kicking. Now you wishing you were listening the first time I was dishing the 187 licking, talking to sheep. He's gonna creep and leap and come with a heap of blows, fucking all the foes. It's just how it goes. And when you're in banger clothes, nightmares running through your dome piece, murders on Jackson Ave will never cease. Now Reynolds, Lawton, Spliff, they ain't giving props to the cops. I give props to the Collingdale Hoodlumz, never breaking a sweat when they shooting them. Now they after me, I don't have a doubt. That's why I gotta pull the trigger, gotta get out.
Dude, it's fucking beautiful.
Yo, shout out John Stauffer.
Stauffer. Wow. Hey, they thought you could
Lyrical
only throw
mastermind.
They thought he could only throw a football 20 yards over the receiver's head.
Yeah, former Westchester quarterback,
And punter.
Bonner quarterback. He was also Eric Dock's ghostwriter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can you give us your verse real quick? I mean,
Which
it was
one
all
was it?
the verse that you just started before that. It was fucking hot.
I gotta laugh at these people with their PhDs. I'm slanging keys, making G's all back of ETs. Tavern, represent Sharon
Sharon
Eva.
Eva.
New fuck your crew, I grab the Philly and spark it. All I know is sandwich you, what is Mike's market? Back in the day, ain't no need to be stressing. 14 buying smokes at any delicatessen. Now so many people want me gone, can't leave my house without armor. Got more pigs working for me than your average farmer. Broad Street and Cherry Street, the best that you had. Barcham or Woodland fighting somebody's dad. Down at the trolley's top kicking some rhymes, or at the cop station straight busting
Busting
lines. Because it's like that. And we were 16.
Man, these guys are 16 years old right now. Like, that's fucking rap right there, man.
It's like lyrically pretty
Yeah,
good.
It's lyrically amazing.
St. Ides, yo.
Dude, we should have took them and made them Thug Folk originals. Broke them off $20.
Shout out real lyricists everywhere.
Well,
I have a St. Ides story, right? So I drink St. Ides and I'm with another fucking ex-girlfriend. God, I have some fucking relationship problems. So I drink 2 St. Ides 40s, right? And I don't come home.
Solid.
I don't come home that night, right? So the next day, I go to the house and I know I'm in trouble or whatever. I walk up and she starts having a panic attack, like a nervous breakdown. And she's shaking. I'm like, I'm sorry, like, you know, like nothing. I was just out with my friend, but like she's shaking to a point where it's not. She's upset. She's having a medical incident.
Oh, okay.
So like, I have trouble with emotion. Like I don't know if I'm in a fight or somebody loves me or if I should be sad. I get them confused, right? Like a few times.
The closest time we ever came to fist fighting, you leaned in to hook up with me at the height
Exactly.
of it. It was just,
like I'll be in a fight, but I think you'll want to kiss or it's sexual. Like I don't know. I don't know the difference.
I don't know what the terminology
I'm
is.
animalistic. It's barbaric. I don't know.
You're multifaceted, Mike, and it's all fascinating.
It's animalistic, but I'm sitting there and I know it's my fault. I did something and she's shaking like she can't stop. So I started like rubbing her, like I'm like they're there, like you know what the fuck do you say?
Comforting.
Yeah, like they're like that the whole time, and she for a second I feel like she forgets that she's upset with me, and she's crying so hard on my shoulder that I think like she leans in because she just needs the comfort from somebody. But I right away I think that I'm confusing it. I'm thinking like it's sexually, like I get turned on immediately, right?
She's weeping.
She's fucking shaking and weeping, but I confuse it for like she wants sex. Mm-hmm. So I start like,
or maybe you recognize the vulnerability.
That's probably. I recognize she's vulnerable.
Yeah, lay down on this couch, and we'll dissect this.
But this was like, and she was so upset that I didn't come home, and I was all fucked up on St. Ides. But I'm rubbing her shoulder and all that, and then I kind of like start like rubbing her, and then finally she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm sorry, like you know, like I.
Where were you going with the?
No, I wasn't that, but I was more like, you know, okay, she's, you know, we're gonna handle this the old fashioned way. I fucked up, but we're gonna make love now.
Yeah.
Like, and we're gonna go on as a family. But I confused my emotions again. She was mad at me still, and I thought, okay, her leaning in to accept my comfort meant that, like, you know, we were both, you know, turned on at the time. So I go to like kind of, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I have no fucking idea. I'm sorry." And then she runs into the other room, and then I kind of just stayed there petting the dog.
Shout out dogs everywhere. Yeah, man. Maybe in that moment you were like, there's no words that can,
Well, yeah.
adequately.
But I remember to this day, and it was a while back, but I remember this, like the panic attack being so intense that like I was immediately aroused.
Yeah.
Something about it made me like the fear of it or something. That's why like I get my emotions confused with the fear, the panic, the fight. Like I didn't know if we, like I didn't know what it was, but I just know that I handled it wrong.
So like a non-serial killer sees the medical incident happening and responds in a way that's helpful to help that person that's suffering through it. You see the opportunity for a nosedive.
Maybe, but like, again, I'm old fashioned, so I thought maybe we're gonna handle my mistake, and we're gonna go on. We're gonna march on, and we're gonna
we're gonna physically fix things.
Yeah, we're gonna have dinner. We're gonna physically fix things and have dinner. But that's not what happened. We're not together anymore.